But anyway, speaking of data.
All right.
Because there's so much to get through. And I think this is actually
That's why we spent the first 35 minutes talking about beauty standards and sourdough.
Well, this is relevant to the conversation.
Okay.
So this is Serena Williams, obviously GOAT tennis player, the world's best, indisputable.
Sorry, this is not an ad for Pfizer. I just want to be clear about that.
No, it's not an ad for Pfizer.
Because it looks like it could be an ad for Pfizer.
So, no, this is the GLP-1 treatment. So the company that she's partnered with is called Roe, I think.
Right.
Anyway, so this has caused absolute chaos online.
So, sorry, one of the world's greatest athletes is advertising a radical weight loss drug.
Yes.
Why?
Okay, so, and this is a worthwhile discussion because I see both sides. I see
Right.
people going, this is a terrible example to young people. I understand all that. And then I see the other side, which is how does a world-class professional tennis player, champion, who has trained her whole life, 8-9 hours a day, fitness, had all the coaches, has all the money, and she still struggled with weight gain and not being able to get it off? I think that opens up a bigger conversation. She's clearly not a lazy person.
No.
It's clearly
at all.
not, she doesn't know. She clearly does know
Yeah.
how to train,
Yeah.
how to eat.
But I mean, there is an element of body type. She has a stockier body
She
type.
does.
I mean, she looks fantastic in this
And she
particular
also
picture. But
had two, I think she's had two children.
At least two, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just a body type thing. She's not built like Martina Hingis.
No.
Was built. Who also wasn't built like Amelie Mauresmo was
Yeah.
built. Who wasn't built like Venus
Yeah.
Williams was built. Like, this is just a difference in body type.
Yeah.
But okay, she's advertising weight loss drugs.
And I find this really interesting because people are like, oh, she's took the easy way out. I'm like, I actually don't think she did.
Right.
The easy way out is to her just.
So she's saying she's using it.
Yes.
She's not just. This isn't just a
She's
brand
saying
deal.
that's how she's
using
used it. She's lost 31 pounds, which, what's that, 15 kilos?
15 kilo, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
14. Yeah.
So I actually think that speaks to modern life. So, and I know there's going to be people screaming in the comments at me. Have a think about this. We're busier than we've ever been. The average person, and unfortunately, a lot of this affects women. Not that men aren't included, but think about the average person.
We get away with more.
Yeah, you do
without
get away with
question.
it.
No argument there.
If I put on 5 kilos, you watch people in the comments going, "Oh God, she's fat." I get called fat now.
Yeah.
And people, like, there is a definite difference in the scrutiny that women face,
Yeah.
particularly in the public eye. Anyway, so she's lost her weight. She could have done it the other way, right? And then everyone would be like, oh, she looks sick. Because this online commentary, it doesn't matter what you do.
It doesn't matter what you
they
do.
don't care, right? But I look at this and go, someone who has the assets of an empire, she has untold wealth, she has all the experts, and she still struggled with it. Then how does the average person deal with it?
Yeah.
You think about the average person who doesn't have the bank account that Serena Williams has to drop their kids off to school, pick their kids up, raise the kids, work the job, the partner's working the job, then they've got to run the household. Like, I understand how this happens. I'm not excusing it. And then people say, oh, well, you have to have a better diet, you've got to exercise more. I understand that. But there does come a point where stress, cortisol levels, just general fatigue.
But also time.
Yeah.
So, and in Serena's case, I could definitely believe that there is an element of time issue here. She does run a business empire. She is a global celebrity. She is in demand for brand deals and all kinds of things, charities and all kinds of stuff all of the time. And so therefore you end up not just not cooking your own meals. She can afford to pay someone else to cook her whatever she wants to eat. But you're cramming meals in on the road in between other things. You can't get a regimen or a regime of exercise of daily. You had gym in your own house, sure, but you're never in your own house. And I know on the road I eat more and I exercise less. And the travel itself is fatiguing. So even if I'm staying at a hotel that has a gym, the odds of me actually going down, I might go for a swim. I might go to a pool and do a few laps in a pool. But I'm not going to a gym in a hotel, even if I actually have the time, because of just the fatigue of the road. And in her case, that would be even more so. So I can definitely see how it happens. I can understand, if there is a supplement, a drug, I don't know what it does to you. This isn't medical advice, all that blah, 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 disclaimers all the way around. I can understand how someone gets to that point. I find it a little confronting, a little odd.
That's what I mean. I think it's a great conversation because, look, in Australia, we can't advertise pharmaceutical goods like that. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think America and New Zealand are the only two countries that allow advertising like that.
Something like that. The libertarian in me says, well, it should be allowed. But yeah, you go to America and you watch these ads and it's 15 seconds of happy families, and then the last 10 seconds is all the side effects and how you're going to be bleeding your out your anus. Yeah. And you just go, oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds great. I remember this was years ago. I was in America and can't remember what time, but it was an ad for OxyContin. I was like, I've never in my life seen this before. And this is before, I think, you talk about the opioid epidemic. But anyway, so I find it interesting. And I flip-flop on this a lot because I know a lot of people who have put on a lot of weight and are struggling. And, you know, I was the gym bunny. So I used to sit there and go, just eat better.
Judgy.
Yeah. And I was. In my 20s I was too. Yeah. Now I'm a little bit older and my hormones are changing. I'm like,
not quite as easy. But also, is there a degree to which we say, well, okay, you've put on an additional, whatever it was, 15 kilos, 14 kilos, something like that. Is it just a case that we care about that too much?
Well, this is the thing. Yes and no, like because we had the body positivity movement, and then look what happened with that needle. We went test holiday,
way too far. I mean, we're not. 14 kilos isn't that. I mean, it's not great. I've got probably 20, 25 kilos more than what I should on me. It's not great, but it's also not end of the world stuff. Yeah. I'm not dying every time I walk up a set of stairs.
I think it purely depends because when you look at the research, like I'm looking into something called digital lateral surveillance, which is basically women surveilling each other and pushing each other around on the hierarchy
and
based on...
Women are way harsher than men are. Like they complain about men and beauty standards. Women, you girls are absolutely savage.
Well, this is what's so interesting because obviously I'm at a university, so there's a lot of woke ideology that's infiltrated. Sure. And one of my supervisors is what I would say fairly progressive. And she kept pushing me. She's like, and what's the next point, Carly? Where does this come from? I'm like, well, women. And she's like, no, it's the patriarchy. I was like, no. Data shows, no, it's women doing this. Women are judging other women. Anyway, we got into like a healthy discussion. Yeah. And so that pushed me down there. And like, obviously I've talked about tattle life and things like that before. The number one insult to a woman is your weight.
Yeah.
You're fat.
Yeah.
Oh, look, she's put on some weight. Oh, look, she's fat. If you go and look at your comments when people talk about me, I'm either dumb or fat. That's it.
And I'm just, it's mostly my teeth. I'm going to be doing an experiment at some point in the next couple of years. I don't know when, but at some point, hopefully I will have made enough money that finally at 40 whatever years of age, I'll get my teeth fixed. Yeah. And the hope is that it'll actually improve my breathing at night and I might not have to use the CPAP machine and all the rest of it. That's the hope. I couldn't care about the cosmetics. But in the process, the cosmetics will get fixed. And I'm going to be so interested to see what my trolls move to next. Right. And will it be like, Richard Hammond from Top Gear, how they banged on about how he had his teeth whitened. I didn't have my teeth whitened. Yeah. It was this whole thing for a couple of seasons. It was very funny. They love my trolls at the moment will attack me for having crooked teeth. Yeah. And I'm like, weird flex. I came from a poor family. Yeah. That's a weird thing to, my parents didn't have the money that your parents had to get veneers or braces or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's a weird way to criticize somebody, but okay, sure, whatever. But then the minute I get them fixed, what's it going to be? Oh, he's so vain, or what? You just
that's what I mean. You can't win.
And that's why my whole mantra with that has become: once someone becomes an unwinnable game, you got to stop playing. Right? You got to cease to care about the opinions of people that refuse to that are going to hate you no matter what. In the case of women and weight, absolutely, and you see this all the time. Where someone's weight, a celebrity, someone who's in the public eye, their weight will change by a few kilograms, and they go from she's fat to she looks like she's got bulimia. She's dying. Yeah, and just like, whoa, guys, like the Goldilocks zone is apparently paper thin. Yeah, but of course a lot of that's driven.
Well, actually, the Goldilocks zone is into like you cannot point to it because it shifts so frequently. Yeah, but
also a lot of that is just driven by the desire, and this has been true of tabloids since long before the internet, but it's amplified on the internet, the desire for clicks, the desire for eyeballs. Hey, she looks great is very rarely a click-getting headline. It might be about, look at how much weight this person's lost, or someone who was previously pilloried for being actually ugly. Oh, wow, she looks amazing now. But that's a very rare thing. The headline is almost always the criticism. Yes. And for some reason, as humans, we're wired to want to engage with that a lot more. That's why clickbait works.
Yeah, well, that's our genetics basically helping us with fight or flight. You had to always be judgmental and assessing your surroundings and and
Look
looking
for
at people.
threats.
Yeah.
And that's the tension with a lot of what I do, and increasingly with what you do. That's why so many people go down the fear-mongering path or they go down the clickbaiting path, is because it actually works. If you're just going off the metrics, this is back to the metrics thing. If you're just going off the metrics, well, fear-mongering is the right strategic choice for
And it'll
you
make
as
you
a,
way
as a
more money.
business. It'll make you way more money, but you lose your soul
Yes.
in the process.
Yes.
And I think there's an element of that in these beauty standards and so forth. You can sit there chasing the approval of the crowd and you'll lose your soul.
Well, wouldn't you know it? Back again, you could not help yourself, could you? I get it. I am absolutely ridiculously good looking. So you should probably go and subscribe. And whilst you're there, maybe shout us a coffee. I have to put up with this guy every week, twice a week, for you and your entertainment, much to my displeasure. But alas, I do it because I am a virtuous soul and you're welcome. So please subscribe and, tell other people to go watch because I need help.